So let's talk about Panama. As many of you are probably already very much aware, Panama has been gaining a lot of momentum and buzz amongst expats and foreigners that are looking to leave their home country, especially amongst retirees, or what we like to call pensionados. And there's a lot of reasons why. In my previous videos, we've talked about the benefits and the type of different visas that you have when you want to relocate to Costa Rica as well as Nicaragua. In this video, we'll talk about specifically Panama. I will tell you that there are some comparisons, some pretty common themes and comparisons that I run into when I work with relocation and scouting trip clients that are looking to move down here to Central America. Perhaps they've heard things about, a very favorable tax importation rules when you are a retiree in Panama compared to, say, Costa Rica, or where should I move because I hear that Nicaragua is the cost of living right now is a lot cheaper. And so I'm having a lot of these conversations where people know, okay, I'm done with the US. I don't like what's going on politically. I want to leave Canada. It's so expensive. I just want to live a much better, more calmer life. I need to reset my nervous system. I'm stressed out. I'm burnt out. I need a change. I need a much slower pace. I'm ready to just kind of let things go. I need to have a cost of living, a place that's much slower, a place where my money can go a lot further, especially as a retiree. So that is why a lot of retirees are focusing on going to Panama, because you need it's $1,000 to be able to. You need to have $1,000 of income coming in each month in order to qualify for the retiree or pensionado visa. Another thing that is very favorable when you are that type of visa holder, when you do immigrate to Panama, is the fact that you can actually be able to import multiple cars over the course of 10 years. So what does that look like? So duty free, you're able to, as a pensionado visa holder, you can import one vehicle duty free every 2 years. So you have the exemption applies to the import duty, but other charges may still apply. We've talked about this before. It's called a VAT tax. That's an importation tax. It is a lot lower compared to, say, Costa Rica. Typically, obviously, it depends upon the type of vehicle and things like that, but on average, you're looking at about a 7% VAT tax and customs processing fee. What is very different that stands out to, say, Costa Rica and Nicaragua is that since the benefit, you can bring in a vehicle every 2 years. So what does that look like? You can bring 5 vehicles in 10 years. Year 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So you guys get to see the cadence. Now, each import will qualify for the duty exemption as long as that particular individual holds that type of pensionado visa. Now, if you sell the vehicle to somebody else, then the import tax that goes away, and then that kicks in. You would have to pay that. It's also for personal use. You can't use it for business or anything like that. Another thing when you hold that type of visa is that you can actually import household goods up to $10,000. So for a lot of retirees, that is something that is very, very, it's very incentivized to be able to come down to Panama. You can also, things that I think are a common theme when you are looking to move to Central America, it doesn't matter if you're moving to Nicaragua or Costa Rica or Panama, is a couple pillars that I think really stand out when you are trying to decide, well, okay, now I've decided I want to move to Panama, but where do I move? That's something that I have a lot of conversations with my clients when they are trying to figure out where they want to go. And I would say that some of those main things that you're going to look at, we've talked about this in other videos I talk about all the time in our Tropical Compass Collective group on Facebook. We talk about climate. So if you are, and then I am just full of animals today. I've got Bailey. Now I've got my kitty Kingston. All want to say hello. We are pet friendly. We are pet relocation experts as well. So I guess they just want to, remind you guys. But let's talk about climate. So climate is something I think is such a huge factor when it comes to deciding where to relocate. So as I mentioned in my last videos, we talked about, places that expats and foreigners seem to move to and migrate to, what I call very common in logistics. It's called heat maps or clusters, if you will. So those are areas where a lot of foreigners seem to migrate to, not only due to what we call a soft landing. It probably has a little nice mixed bag, if you will, of locals as well as foreigners, and so that they share the same values, and being able to do a little bit more of a, not a lesser culture shock. But besides that, climate is huge. So a lot of people, they will look on these social media, they'll come down on vacation, they have this vision of living on the beach, and then they spend a summer down in the beach areas, and their AC cost is way up compared to what they're used to in their home country. And then also, of course, you have the heat is humid. I mean, it's hot, it's humid. I live in the beach area, and trust me, it is hot, but I like the heat. I enjoy living at the beach, and so it's, after living here in Central America for as long as I have, my body is just acclimated to it. But it can be, especially for people of older age, retirees, it can be a little bit too much in terms of acclimating to the much more humid area. Another thing too, Panama, it rains a lot. It's a tropical climate. So a lot of people, I think they don't realize that here in Central America, we have two seasons. It's either dry or it rains. Obviously, in certain parts of Central America, certain parts of, say, Panama are going to rain a lot more than, say, the latter parts. But so climate, weather, I think definitely plays a role. If you are looking to relocate and you do pinpoint an area that you like, I always tell my clients, hey, spend a rainy season in that area, because dry season and rainy season can be totally two different worlds compared to what you're probably used to. Let's talk about infrastructure, because infrastructure is something that is huge. Very common here in Central America. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about Panama this week or Nicaragua and Costa Rica the other weeks. Blackouts do occur. And so if you are, say, a digital nomad, or you're running a business online, or you have a consulting firm or something like that where you need to work with clients, you need to have a backup plan. Whether that's Starlink, or you have a UPC adapter that connects to your internet modem that will gain power so it doesn't go out. Do you have a generator or something like that? Water does go out here. It doesn't go out, I would say, no, it actually kind of depends. Like yesterday, the municipality decided to turn off the water because they said they needed to work on stuff. They didn't really tell us, give us a notice. Fortunately, I was able to take a shower in the morning. I was able to use water in the morning. I went to go use the water later on in the early afternoon, and there was no water. So these are the type of things when it comes to infrastructure. You have to really do a stress test, if you will, and decide, okay, well, if I wake up and there's no water, what am I going to do? Am I okay with that? Am I going to, or do I need to, or am I going to have steps in place and a backup plan to be able to allow me to work around that? And so also when it comes to healthcare, if you are a person, say, of an older age, and you have some more hands-on health conditions, diabetes, you have a heart condition, you have a certain type of treatments that you need to do on a regular basis. And these are all things that you need to consider being closer to the capital. So for instance, if you need to be closer to a hospital, being closer to Panama City is going to be fit more for your needs and your lifestyle, as opposed to you being out in more of a rural area. So those are things that you really need to consider, because if there is an emergency and you need to get to a hospital, you're going to be headed to Panama City. It's like that for Costa Rica. It's like that for Nicaragua too. And then you also want to look at cost of living. So different places are going to be more expensive as opposed to others. We already touched on that earlier in our video, but I think cost of living is really important for you to really consider, what areas are going to be the best. So when looking at Panama and you're looking at climate, for instance, if you're looking at a much more warmer climate, like the San Carlos area is going to be, that's more closer to the beach. It's a very quiet area. But again, it's going to be hotter than, say, if you were to be up in more Boquete area, which is about a constant 60, 70 degrees. Hotter too. You're going to be most closer to Panama City and David. There's other areas of, like, for instance, when it comes to infrastructure, and healthcare is one of them. You're not going to want to be more in the rural areas. You want to be more in closer to David and, say, Panama City, because those are the areas that are going to fit more of your lifestyle. So that's one thing that I really, really find to be something that is very common, is that a lot of people, they look at these areas that look beautiful. They've heard great things about it, but they don't really know boots on the ground sort of things, like the things I just discussed. And they find themselves moving down kind of sight unseen and then going, oh, great, this is nothing what I thought it was. And so the importance of, I think, doing your research. Do as much research as you can. There's some really great research out there, but there's a lot of information out there. So my advice to you would be, when you are deciding that you want to relocate or even do a scouting trip, do the research. One of the best type of clients that I work with are those where we can collaborate. They come to me and they say, oh, I heard this, or this is what I heard here. My team and I can be the best coaches when you guys have done some research, because it allows us to be able to customize and carve out a strategy and a game plan for you guys to set you up for success. So because if you don't do your research and you're just kind of coming in blindly, if you will, I mean, we can certainly help you, but it definitely will make your experience a lot better when you can come in and we can work together. And if you say, hey, I've heard that Boquete is amazing and I want to live there, we're going to ask a lot of questions and we're going to make sure that Boquete is indeed the right area for you. I have a lot of conversations with people, regardless of whichever country that you're interested in. And they'll say, oh, I heard about this place, but then you've got to make it into the capital a couple times a month, because for whatever reason, I go, oh, that particular area, it's about a 4 to 5 hour bus drive. Do you really want to do that? And so that's the advantage of working with a relocation team that are experts. We live it every day, boots on the ground. We can help you, make this the best experience for you guys. And so can't wait to talk to each and every one of you. I know our group is growing, but if you guys are interested in scheduling a call with me so we can talk about where you are in your relocation journey, comment book in the comments and I will reach out to you and we will set something up and we'll start planning. All right, Pura Vida.